welcome to MeowMix, the Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry.
And we are here to discuss the 2022 schedule release. Just released mere moments ago. And Jerry and I are excited to kind of run through it, talk about maybe some things that jump out at us. We're not going to do game-by-game predictions or anything like that. I mean, it's May. We don't even know what the starting lineup is going to be.
No.
We don't even know if Baker Mayfield is going to be the quarterback. We have no idea what's going on. The NFL might think that, and we'll tell you why here in a minute. But there is a little rumor that came out, Jerry, that I think you wanted to kind of talk about before we get into that.
Michael McCarthy from Front Office Sports reported that the Panthers are eyeing Super Bowl winning coach Sean Payton to take over if Matt Rhule doesn't succeed this year and gets fired. That there was already links that Tepper and Sean Payton are very friendly. And then this kind of came out. It's not surprising, in my opinion. Tepper loves a big splash. Sean Payton luring him would be a big get. The only thing is they would have to trade something to New Orleans to get him because the New Orleans still has his rights. He has been offered multiple jobs for our broadcasting through Amazon and Fox Sports already. So there's a lot going on there. That being said, would you be excited if he came here?
Not if we had to give up multiple first-round picks.
Oh, no. No first-round picks, in my opinion.
What I believe is if they wait until 2024, they can get him with no compensation to his former team. I saw that. So, yeah, I mean, I don't want him if it's going to cost us high picks. I don't think that makes any sense. That being said, if we could get him without picks, then hell yeah. I mean, he's a great coach. He's an offensive genius. His teams are always competitive. Defensively, they've never really been that good. Maybe a couple of years they were decent, but the offense is always exciting, and they're always in the mix. So I'd be thrilled. Yeah,
and the times that the defense was good was back in that 2011 season where he got, bounty gate. 2012, he was suspended the whole year for basically putting bounties on the opposing teams to knock them out of the game. So you got that going against him. You also have him being, the NFL's most punchable face for like 5 years running. And us as Panther fans definitely voted him that. Yeah. That's a joke. There wasn't actually a poll on that, but I'm sure he would be up there. I know he was on top of my list.
I'm sure there was a poll somewhere, and I'm sure he won it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's true. We've hated Sean Payton. I mean, just because we had Saints and they were successful with him as head coach. That being said, if he became our head coach, I would immediately love him. I would obviously root for him as hard as I've rooted for anyone.
Exactly. I mean, I think he would help turn around this franchise. Yes, he would need to get a great defensive coordinator and everything. But if you don't have to give up much to get him, I definitely think you should. He would be the best available coach. It kind of leads to the fact that whole Tom Brady and Sean Payton to Miami kind of makes, since both are already being talked about coming back. Well, Tom Brady's back, and I think that was probably had some real legs to it.
It probably did. Again, I don't know. I mean, I know teams have traded for head coaches before, but it doesn't happen that often.
Mm-mm.
And I don't know that I don't want the Panthers to be one of those teams. So we value our first round picks. I mean, look at what we got this year. What we hope to be a staple at left tackle for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Every year over the last few years, it seems like we've gotten somebody that's just going to be here for a long time. So that would be a big. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past Tepper. I mean, they were willing to give up everything for Deshaun Watson. So Tepper wants to win, and if he feels like Sean Payton is the guy that can get that done, then I can see him doing it.
I mean, unfortunately, Tepper hasn't had a track record of picking out the right guy so far. His one shot has been a big whiff.
He's, you know,
It's a
so
big
far,
whiff.
yes. So far, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
10 and 24, yeah. Or 23, sorry.
Oh, Jerry, now you're jumping ahead. You're jumping ahead to the schedule. No, Matt Rhule, yes, obviously has not been very successful with Panthers so far. We'll see what he does this year. It could be a moot point if the Panthers, win 12 games this year. Then we're going to be stuck with Rhule for at least another year, which might work out in our favor if we could get Sean Payton in 2024 for not having to give up any picks. That it could work out.
Yeah,
I'd take a winning season.
But who knows if New Orleans will actually trade him to us? I mean, you may have to wait till 2024.
Yeah. Well, good talk there. Let us know in the comments or via email or Twitter or whatever what you guys think about Sean Payton and if you'd be excited for the Panthers to get him. But we're going to go ahead and jump into the schedule. The schedule has been released. It is a very exciting day for football fans for like 20 minutes, and then we realize, it's another 6 months until the season actually starts. Not 6 months, but a few months. Now we're truly entering the dead time until really training camp starts in July?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, July.
There's like some OTAs maybe in June or something, but it's at least a couple months before anything really exciting happens. So we're going to talk about the schedule. Jerry, have you had a chance to check it out?
Yes, I did. I checked it out while I was waiting on you. So I already see where I am. It doesn't bode well for the Panthers. I'll put it that way. When I looked at this schedule, I am seeing a lot of rough patches.
Well, let's just start talking about it. Week 1 is a home game. I believe this is the 5th year in a row the Panthers are beginning the season at home.
It started out that year that Ron Rivera complained that they had played on the road for like 4 years in a row. And since then, all home. So
every year, yeah. And we'll be playing the Cleveland Browns here. So does that mean Deshaun Watson's going to be here? If I had to bet, I would think he'd be suspended or on the commissioner's exempt list or whatever the case may be. So I think that's a good time to play the Browns.
If he doesn't play, yes, you still
even if he
have
does play. He's a brand new quarterback with that team. They're not going to be firing on all cylinders.
No, but you still have to worry about Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb. I guess Amari Cooper is their leading receiver now. I don't.
That's right.
So
hey, sometimes you have to worry about him. Sometimes you don't.
Yeah, I'm more worried about Nick Chubb and Hunt and Deshaun Watson if he plays.
By the way, the Panthers have 9 home games this season.
Yeah. Well, last year they
2 of the 3 preseason games are also home.
Oh, I didn't even know that, but
yeah. So, Panthers one of the teams that gets more home games than away games this season, so that's good. Like you said, last season, I believe it was the opposite. So,
I heard they did NFC this year, and they'll do AFC last year or in next year, and I think they're going back and forth with AFC and NFC, which makes sense to do it that way.
Yeah. Eventually, I think they want all of these extra games to be played internationally. So, we'll see when and if that happens. But next, we have the Giants. We'll be at the Giants. That feels like a winnable game.
It feels like a winnable. Feels like a winnable game. I'm not going to go 2-0, but you never know what the new Giants are going to do. Daniel Jones is still their quarterback. They got Evan Neal, right after us. They got Kayvon Thibodeau. Honestly, the Giants have had a sneaky good offseason, so we'll see how good they actually are.
That's true. They're going to be relying on a lot of young players, but that's okay. I'll be interested to see. I forgot about that they got Thibodeau as well, so that should be interesting for our rookie. Our rookie left tackle. He's got some matchups these first few weeks. We go to the Saints come here week 3, week 4 the Cardinals here, and then week 5 the 49ers here. That's what Cam Jordan, Nick Bosa with the Niners, and then who the Cardinals have?
Oh, I can't.
Um,
Well, they have T.J. Watt, but I don't know if he'll be
well,
there
TJ
or
Watt's
not.
with he the Steelers.
No, you're thinking of J.J. Watt. Sorry,
Yeah,
wrong
JJ
Watt.
Watt. Okay. Yeah, yeah, other Watt. The week 4 and 5 games here are 4 o'clock starts at home, which I thought was a little interesting. I know they're
Yeah.
West Coast teams. At least the Niners are. The Cardinals are in Arizona, which is essentially a West Coast team. So that's kind of interesting.
I'm kind of curious maybe if the West Coast team started complaining and said, hey, when we make this
Mhm.
trip, instead of starting at 1 a.m., 10 a.m. our time,
Yeah.
have us have a later time, which would make
Well, that
sense on their perspective.
yeah, that also always used to be an advantage for the East Coast
Hmm.
teams. Um, week 6 we are at the Rams. Week 7 the Bucks are here, and week 8 at Atlanta. Week 9 at the Bengals. So that's that's a tough stretch right there. I mean, you get Super Bowl champs, then you got the Bucks, the previous Super Bowl champs, then a division game in Atlanta, and then against the Bengals, who were in the Super Bowl last year.
That that whole week 4 to 9 is very
Yeah.
difficult. Week 8 is the only one against Atlanta that you say, okay, that's fairly
But
winnable.
even still, that's a division game on the
Ex-
road. I mean, that's a
exactly.
tough game. Yeah.
I mean, the Cardinals aren't a pushover. 49ers are definitely not a pushover. Rams just won the Super Bowl and are basically
Hmm.
reloaded. The Bucks won 2 years ago and are reloaded.
Yeah.
Like you said, Atlanta Bengals, who were just in the Super Bowl. I mean,
Yeah.
right there, that's rough.
It doesn't really get much easier either because week 10 is Atlanta here, but that's a Thursday night game. And we all know anything can happen on Thursday night games.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're at the Ravens, and then we've got Russell Wilson and the Broncos coming here. I mean, good gracious, that's tough.
Extremely tough.
That's a tough stretch. That's a really tough
I
stretch.
mean, week 4 all the way down to week 12 is not a joke. The
There's
only
no easy wins.
No. I mean, with the Panthers, let's be honest, they won
Sure.
5 games last year. There's no easy wins, anyways. But the only games that you could say, okay, we should be favored would be against Atlanta twice in that stretch. Other than that, right
Yeah.
now on paper, Ravens, no. Broncos have Russell Wilson and have a good overall team.
Yeah. I think the Broncos are going to be very good this year.
Week 13,
Um,
Matt Rhule gets fired.
That's the bye week, third year in a row with a week 13 bye. And last year I remember being like, man, this is 2 years in a row with a week 13 bye. And now it's 3 years in a row with a week 13 bye. That's I don't know. Is that typical? I don't know
I
if they
like
usually
late
do that.
buys.
I do
Usually,
too.
it could get your team healthy for that playoff push if you're having a
Yeah.
playoff push.
Yeah. The only problem, I think I'd prefer like a week 9 or 10 bye, just like right in the middle, I think would be the best buy. Best buy. But after that, things get a little easier for a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, we're at the Seahawks with probably Drew Lock at quarterback, or really, who knows by week 14 who's at quarterback there. Week 15 against Kenny Pickett and the Steelers at home. And then week 16, another home game against Detroit. So those are 3 games that, coming right out of the bye, say we're 3 and, well, maybe 4-8 or something, or 5-7 or something. You could make your playoff push at that point, right?
Yeah, you would have to. I mean, you would have to win some of these games that you're not favored in,
Yeah.
and go. Then all of a sudden, you have Seattle, who's in disarray. They don't look good on the paper. I kind of think they're personally trying to get one of the top quarterbacks next year. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
Steelers, they have a good team, but you never know what Kenny Pickett's going to be able to do, or Mason, or I can't think of his name. Not Mason Rudolph, but Trubisky.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Trubisky. Yeah.
And then Lions are Lions.
Lions are Lions, Jared Goff. They were frisky in games last year,
Mm-hmm.
but certainly not a team that I think you go, oh, that's a loss, or man,
Oh, no.
I think, and that's a home game as well. So, and then we finish it up at Tampa, and at New Orleans, week 18. So 3 out of 4 years that we've, or is it 4 out of 5 years that we've finished at the Saints? Let me check.
It feels like we're always finishing with the Saints or the Bucks. So
yeah, 2018 Saints, 2019 Saints, 2020 Saints. So, and then 2021 was Bucks. So, yeah, I mean, Bucks and the Saints, those are the teams that we play at the end, and those are the teams we play at the end this year. So, only one primetime game, not a surprise, and it is the Thursday night game. So, I put a poll out earlier today that asked you guys how many primetime games other than the Thursday night game do you think we'd have, and 0 was by far the biggest choice, and you guys.
I mean, let's be honest here. It's not surprising. I mean, 2 5-win seasons back to back. I mean, you don't have the Cam Newton right now on this team that
correct
that people want to see.
Yep.
I love DJ Moore. He's just not that exciting because he doesn't have a quarterback throwing to him. You don't see teams.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, go ahead.
You don't see teams with only a great receiver really get those prime time. They want to, promote the quarterbacks. They want to promote the stars of the team. This Panthers team, it's DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey, who knows if he'll be healthy. I mean, Brian Burns, Jeremy Chin.
Nobody's tuning in nationally. You're not going to have a family in Oklahoma tuning in to watch Christian McCaffrey. I mean, I'm sorry. I love Christian McCaffrey. I think he's exciting. There's nobody on this team that is a national superstar, right? We just don't.
No.
We just don't have them.
CMC was going there, but
CMC, yeah.
But
CMC
then he got too injured the past
right.
2 years, and now he's an afterthought.
Yep.
I mean, that's the way it is.
Yep. Yeah, I basically said the same thing on Twitter's basically, there's nobody that the NFL can market really nationally on the team right now. So we'll see Matt Corral. We'll see what he does. I mean, he could come out and be very exciting. He was exciting in college. So a few interesting things here on Panthers.com. They kind of had a couple of snippets about the schedule. 4 of the first 5 games are at home, which I don't know that we've ever had before. Tough October. So October this year, Carolina faces 4 2021 playoff teams in 5 games. So that's what we talked about: Arizona, San Francisco, the Rams, Tampa, and then you had Atlanta in there, on the road. Then they open up in November with Cincinnati. So we kind of talked about that tough stretch there.
Honestly, looking back, I skipped over New Orleans, but again, division rival. Week 3 through 12 is just going to be bow.
I tell you what, though, that's like if the team can survive and you can come out at the bye at or around 500.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think you feel pretty good about that, right?
I would definitely feel good about that. I mean, you're sitting at 6-6 with 5 games left, and you got Seattle, Steelers, Lions, then Bucks and Saints, which again, those two will always be difficult. But you're thinking, okay, I can have a winning season here and make that playoff push. Not crazy.
Even there, like you're looking at like best case scenario, 10 wins, 9 wins. Like,
oh yeah,
that's tough.
I think you would have to get with the extra playoff, maybe 9 wins to get into it. Go 9-8.
Yeah,
and that's doable, but you just got
10-win team. They got that.
You just gotta steal some of these wins from some of these, Rams, Bucks, Bengals, Cardinals, 49ers. Oh my.
Yeah, and not all these teams are going to be good again. Every year you've got teams that fall off. The Bengals lost the Super Bowl. Typically, the season after you lose the Super Bowl is a very disappointing season.
Yeah.
We went through it. So that it seems like they're a team that's primed to have a disappointing season.
Yeah, I could easily see them falling off a little bit.
Definitely. The Panthers have 4 4:00 starts, including the 2 home games that we talked about. That's pretty interesting. It says 2015 was the last time Carolina played 4 4:00 starts. and 3 of those were on the road. So interesting there. The Panthers have the 12th hardest schedule as of right now, strength of schedule of any team in the NFL. However, they do have the easiest schedule of the NFC South teams. Tampa has the 4th hardest, New Orleans has the 7th hardest, and Atlanta has the 9th hardest. So Panthers with the 12th hardest, easiest in the NFC South, but still not easy.
No. And that's the way it goes when you get last in your division last year. So
exactly, yeah, exactly. Tough year for the division really, and schedule wise. 9 home games, we talked about that. Late bye, we talked about that. Let's see. Since the NFL moved to a 14-team playoff format in 2020, 7 teams have gone from outside of the playoffs to inside the playoffs the following season, in both 2020 and 2021. So 7 each season. If there's 7 more this season, Panthers could easily be one of those. Just depends.
It'll be very interesting how they pull it off if they get, because I think this is a Matt Rhule playoff or bust situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's rough, man. And you don't have a quarterback right now. I like Matt Corral, but I don't know if he's able to step in right away and start.
Well, he was a late 3rd round pick.
Exactly. Yeah. But Sam Darnold
showed a lot of him to come in immediately.
Showed promise, but then you get in his face and he sees ghosts. I mean, I know it's a joke, but realistically, as soon as he started getting hit, he turns into a completely different quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think it's a joke. I think that's accurate. I mean, he's the one that said it, and we saw it last year. We saw it happen right in front of our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Panthers came out of the gate hot, looked good against 3 weak teams. They're not going to have that luxury this season.
No.
This is going to be tough. Just real quick here, it looks like the Panthers have a Christmas Eve game against Detroit, and then they play Tampa Bay on New Year's Day. So those are the holiday games this year that the Panthers will have. So the Panthers are 3-4 all time on Christmas Eve.
So I did not know that.
Playing against Detroit on Christmas Eve. I think that was a home game, right?
Yeah, that's a home game.
So yeah, so that fun for the family there. It's a 1:00 game. You'd be home in time for your Christmas Eve festivities. All right, Jerry, any other thoughts on the schedule?
No, I think I'm going to hibernate until something good happens. I'm joking. We'll probably be back next week. Actually, we'll be back on 2 weeks from now. We plan on having Jason Hewitt back to go over our O-line revamped. So I'm very excited for that, actually.
Yeah. Jason Hewitt, most of you guys will know, he's part of the Pancake podcast, and he's played offensive line in college, and he's our expert. When we need offensive line questions, we go to Jason Hewitt. So yeah, I think we're planning that one on Monday, about a week and a half from now, I guess the 23rd. So hopefully that'll work out. Jerry's internet's been a little spotty here and there, so hopefully we can get that working. But otherwise, I think that's going to do it, Jerry.
All right. We want to thank everyone for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. And if you leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it on the show.
All right, everyone. Well, until next time, stay safe out there and keep pounding.